College graduate. I finally made it across the stage. It was a long road of 4.5 years, the greatest years of my life. I must express, nothing could have added nor taken away from those years of expansion. I met the greatest people ever, sorors and bras, my saints, other organizations who crossed at the same time, as some down-to-earth brothers and sisters. I achieved all I had set out to do. Every goal of mine was accomplished. Most importantly, I received my Bachelor's of Science degree in communications. I am on my way to becoming a celebrity reporting in the world of entertainment. So I thought. It was a very nice dream once upon a time. What the Lord has for you is for you. That's what I always told myself. Little did I know that I was heading back home and I was going to be a struggling new graduate. Feeling like a failure, lost hope like many other college graduates who have attempted, strived, and practically begged to work in the field that we studied in for years. The first places I went to were the news stations in my city. All of them were to no avail. I was told that the market was too large and that they did not take interns, and that I would have to go back to where I came from, gain experience, and then come back. So I stopped trying because that wasn't going to happen. However, one of my ex-colleagues told me that she was neighbors with a popular female anchor. My dad loved watching her every morning. So she put a word in for me to go down to the station to meet her, and I did. I sat and waited for about 3 hours or more. No one said anything to me, so I asked about her. They told me that she was there, but she wouldn't come out. I walked in extremely elated and left out extremely disappointed. That just goes to show that nothing in this world is guaranteed. As a young child, I was always taught the same thing that parents still try to teach their children today, knowing very well it no longer works that way. To go to school, get an education, and get a career so you can live and gain stability, be able to pay your bills and later get married and have children. Yeah, and a picket white fence and a dog to go with it, right? No, sorry, not even the military is the answer to achieving the American dream anymore. The truth is, we need to keep it real with the children and help them prepare for what life really is about. Do not spare the harsh reality of disappointments that life brings, especially those nasty, unexpected situations. Yes, we celebrate educational accomplishments. Then it's out of the nest and into the real world. Many become lost and the cycles continue. There are so many unprepared young adults who later become lazy, codependent adults. The good news is the younger generations have more technical advancements. So even if they do become lazy adults, there is always a way to make money via technology. For those of us who know what it's like to dream big while in school, then later learn that our field isn't looking for new grads or not interested in taking a chance. What's next then? How do we bounce back? People without degrees complain that most jobs now want degrees, while the ones who have said degrees complain that they cannot get hired with a degree. I was one of those inexperienced college graduates. I know the struggle, and I feel honestly it's a play on the people of this society. What we've commonly known as a catch-22. The ones who hold the cards are the ones playing the game, while others are trying to get a seat at the table. It's not about whether you possess one or not. It's about how much are you willing to pay. The frustration is so severe, it's depressing. Literally a reason for people to give up hope and sit along the sidelines. I could not find a job, so I had to make one. The spiritual gifts we possess inside of us are not just to be used spiritually. They are to be used by any means possible, especially if you were gifted with creativity. There isn't a market for creativity, but doesn't it make sense to create one? It's funny how naysayers are quick to discourage creative minds and say there's no money in that. Well, look at how and where people are starting to make the most money. It turns out that using creativity and a little skill can take you to your happy place. It can be done anywhere, at any time, whenever the creators get inspired. It is the most liberating of all jobs. There are no limits to creativity. I used to want to be a doctor before I became aware of my creativity. I wanted to take one path, but instead I took many. Creativity opened many doors and opportunities for me. Truly remarkable how going from one field to the next, which appears to have nothing to do with the other, fit seamlessly. It was because of my interests gifts, and talents that I have been able to utilize each and every piece of work performed and or studied, and I am just beginning. I am meant to reach different audiences for different reasons, and for what I am doing now, I am pleased. When I said that I'm using my gifts, as I write this book, my aim is to awaken the mind, provoke thoughts, ignite a passion for action that will create change. What started off for me 10 years ago, when I first started writing this book, has now taken a different route. Several, actually. As I continue to write, I am speaking to readers who may have shared these same sentiments or may not have until now. There is a word, messages from on high. Some thoughts are mine, but others come on a whim. It goes back to a flow. As I mentioned before, as nostalgic as these memories are for me, a lot of them are being brought up through my spirit, tagged with a message of some kind. There were people who laughed at me, called me names, asked me when I was going to write my book and settle into a career, do something with myself. Their laughter caused me to doubt myself in so many ways. I started questioning, which led me to comparing myself with my peers who had long surpassed me in life, whereas we either started out at the same time or I had started out before them. I was fine with still going to school. I enjoyed learning and challenging myself. I was single and free to do whatever I wanted. And attending school, being a professional student, was my thing to do. However, when the laughter and chatter started up, so did my doubt. My self-confidence began to dwindle. And by the time I realized that I had become a jack of all trades and a master of none, that's when I decided to turn into relationships and invest into love instead of business. The beginning of a dream deferred, and that's where my lessons in love began.